Hey, good morning. LinkedIn Live, Twitch, YouTube, Facebook, and Periscope. I am Frank Lavinia, and I am streaming all the things today. So if you're watching live, I want to thank you for watching live. Hold on, let me make it a little brighter in here. Alexa, turn shop light on. All right, well, Alexa thinks about that. Alexa, turn shop light on. All right, that's a little better. Anyway, if you're watching live, I want to thank you for taking time out of your day and watching live. And if you're watching this later, I want to thank you for taking time out of your evening or whatever time of day it is for you and watching. So on Friday, I did a talk on what a magic 8-ball can teach us about quantum computing and qubits. Following on that theme is another toy. This is a Rubik's Cube. And you're probably wondering, what does this have to do with quantum computers? And I'll get to that. But it's not just about quantum computers. So if you didn't have one of these as a kid, we were at a yard sale, and we picked up a bunch of box of puzzles for the kids to keep their brains occupied. And we ended up getting this box and had a bunch of Rubik's Cubes in it. But here's the thing, not just these Rubik's Cubes. So if you, I guess for fans of the Rubik's Cube, you probably know that these sorts of things exist, but all sorts of variations on the same theme. This is an 11-sided version of the Rubik's Cube. Here is another. Whoops. That's the fun of live streams. You get those bloopers like that. Here's another variation. And here's yet another variation, which I've never seen before either. The only one I think I may have seen would be something like this, or with even more shapes and sides. And this got me thinking. About how this relates to mental models and what that means for quantum computing. And a big problem that folks have with quantum physics and quantum computing is the sheer weirdness of it. This is something that even gave Einstein he publicly called things like entanglement kind of spooky action at a distance. He also quipped about the whole notion of probability waves and things like that, as that God does not play dice. So if you're confused, you are in some good company. So don't let that stop you. Let it inspire you, right? So if you're used to kind of a conventional, or let's drop the quantum thing for now. If your mental model of the world exists of, this is what a Rubik's Cube is. And for me, I kind of use mostly this. But if your mental model of what a Rubik's Cube is, this 3 by 3 by 3, so 3 cubed representation of what the problem space is this. When you are encountered with something like this, this complexity goes up quite a bit, going from 6-sided to 11-sided. And I would say that because the problem space is, it's similar, it's just a more robust and in-depth problem space. Because this looks so different, you have no problem dropping your preconceived mental models for this. But what happens when you come across something like this, right? At a distance, this would probably look like a same as this, right? They're both cubes, right? 6-sided, but the rules and mechanics of them are slightly different. And the same goes for what happens to your mental model when you encounter something like this, right? Maybe I should call these live streams Frank's Quantum Toy Shop. because I had the 8-ball and stuff like that. It's both open and closed at the same time. So this is kind of my example here. It's really about preconceived assumptions and mental models as I drop stuff to the floor. So the whole idea here is that the skill set you build for solving this will help you solve this and will help you solve this only if you let go of what some of your preconceived notions were. So this is kind of line of thinking has helped me study quantum computers, because the notion of a bit being 1 or 0 is kind of core and fundamental. It is the standard Rubik's Cube that I think all software engineers have just come to accept, right? True or false. It's a binary reality. But with quantum, you add another state, and that potentially opens up a whole new doors. But the key to understanding that, and the key to really leveraging that as a strength, comes in letting go of some of that mental models, right? Taking what works, leaving it go behind, right? And this is not unique to software development. This could apply to anything, really. I think Bruce Lee said, absorb what's useful, disregard the rest. So I think that who am I to argue with him? And here's the real takeaway. As you read about some of the behavior of quantum particles and stuff like that, it is very easy to be stuck with how we see the world. How we see the world is, the rules that Newton figured out, classical mechanics, pretty much rule our lives. We live in this world, right? You do this, it's very easy to understand. Quantum, I'm not sure quite which one will work best, but things will move in different directions, and things are just very different. Or maybe it's like this. It's similar enough to kind of make sense, but not really. Who knows? I don't know enough yet to extend this analogy. But I just think this is helpful when you think about mental models. In fact, the whole notion of there just being a third state, I'll have to find it, but the book I moved where my bookshelf is instead of it being easy reach here. Kind of implied that maybe there's possibly 4 states that you could have. Kind of implied that maybe it's not just I don't know what that 4th state would be. Not just 1, 0 in superposition, but it kind of implied. If you know the answer, let me know, or maybe I'll have to find the book and then I'll do another live stream on it. But the real key is, I think, is having an open mind, having the ability to disregard some of your core assumptions. And that mental shift, I know this is rather hooey and kind of wah-wah, woo-woo. Not wah-wah. Wah-wah is where you get coffee. Woo-woo was kind of a little bit off the rails sometimes. But sometimes when you go off the trail, you have better adventures. Sometimes you also fall off a cliff. So you have to be smart enough to know the difference. But if you take the example of this as your standard mental model, you have to be able to adapt and adjust, or even to situations like this. What is this? These are actually 6 little independent knockoff Rubik's Cubes that I'd gotten for to give away as swag at a conference, which oddly enough, they were very popular. Anyway, there'll be no in-person conferences for a while, I suspect. So they are sitting on my shelf, and yeah. Anyway, end of that sidetrack. So I just wanted to, as you kick off your week, if you have a particular vexing architecture problem, or you are studying quantum computers, or you are studying data science, right? Or you're studying computer vision, allow your mind the flexibility to think and using different mental models. So I've got to go, but I just figured I would impart some wisdom True story. My kids, there's that way. Somehow, I think there's actually two of them, and my son solved like three of the sides, and he saw this one, which is pretty much completely scrambled, and I didn't touch it because I didn't get around. I'm playing with them now because they're not here. But the key to keep in mind is that they were fighting over this. I need coffee. So the kids were actually fighting over it because the older kid thought the younger kid had scrambled all his hard work, and I don't know. It just there was quite a bit of arguing this morning over that. But in any case, this isn't about toys. This is about Rubik's Cube. Toys can teach us, games can teach us larger theories, and I think the same holds through kind of metagaming, right? The strategy of games and kind of what do they teach us. I think there's a lot to that. All right. So with that, and if there's no questions, I want to wish you all a great day. Hope you're having a great morning, and you stay safe out there, and you have a great day. Be sure to check out franksworld.com and datadriven.tv. Frank's World is the Frank's World of Data Science, and Data Driven is the podcast where we talk about all things data science, artificial intelligence, and machine learning with my wonderful co-host, Andy Leonard. You have a great day.